Hi everyone, my name is Lindsay and thank you so much for tuning into this week's video. This week we will be talking about the age-old question, how do you thrift efficiently? Now obviously Uptown Cheapskate is a little bit different than other thrift shops because they do carefully look through everything that they purchase from other people. So the clothes in there are generally going to be a little bit nicer, more in style and all of that, but that can make it harder because it's hard to weed out what you don't want when you want everything. So I am going to be giving you my tried and true tips and tricks about how to get out of the thrift store alive with something you actually like without too many things that you like and without spending hours and hours and hours and hours and hours inside of the store. When you're going in actually looking for specific things or with a limited budget or actually, trying to shop, it can be a little bit more difficult because thrifting is overwhelming at times. There are so many options and everything's inexpensive, so you feel like you can buy more, but then it all adds up and just a lot of issues. My personal little anecdote is I started thrifting in high school when it really started getting popular, and I would go in there and pick up everything and buy everything that wasn't just absolutely disgusting because I would get excited when I found something that fit me, or I would be like, oh, this is vintage, this is cute, but it wasn't cute, and I ended up with so many clothes and so many things that I never wore. So at that point, what's the point in saving money and going to a thrift shop if you're gonna buy so many clothes that you don't even wear, that someone else could be wearing and you could have saved the money, you know what I mean? So this is basically the story of how I reinvented myself as a thrift shopping addict into a responsible and good thrift shopper. So honestly, the number one thing that helps me when I'm thrift shopping is doing some research beforehand. What styles have in the past really drawn my eye? I'll look at like my saved posts on Instagram. I don't know if y'all use that feature, but there's a little bookmark in the corner of pictures and I'll save the outfits I like so I can go back later when I'm about to go shopping and remind myself of what I want. Doing your research, like watching videos like these, or scrolling through Instagram or whatever, will help you understand the trends that are currently happening and the ones you really like, so you know the ones you specifically want to look for. A lot of times when you go thrift shopping, you leave with things that aren't necessarily like flattering or currently stylish or that kind of thing, just because you get caught in the moment. So kind of familiarizing yourself with what you like before you go will help you leave with things that you actually like. Another really good type of research to do before you go thrift shopping is knowing your thrift shop. So obviously this is a little bit different at Uptown Cheapskate, like I said, because they're one of the better ones. So if you go there, you're gonna leave with something. But when you're going to Goodwill or something like that, you don't really know if it's gonna be a good Goodwill or a bad Goodwill, and you kind of have to like guess and go to an affluent city, that kind of thing. But stores like Uptown Cheapskate are gonna be much easier to find something you actually like, and especially things that are current, because the people who are selling are younger and the people who are buying are younger. And any store that buys clothes and then resells them, the prices are going to be like 50 cents to $1 higher, but it's going to be worth it because all of the clothes are actually going to be really good, instead of having to stand in the dress section for an hour to find one that you actually like. So that's definitely my biggest tip, is know your thrift shop before you go. That's why I love Uptown Cheapskate. I find multiple things every single time I go there, and that's not just because I'm a shopping addict, it's just because they're too good and I can't resist. Now, as I said earlier, thrift shopping can be kind of overwhelming because there are so many options and there's only one of everything, so everything's like squished together, and you just walk in and it's a sea of clothes and you're like, I don't know what to do, I don't know where to start, I don't know what to look for. So my number one tip for combating this is gonna be to scan for patterns when you're looking through the racks. So this goes back to like doing your research. Know what patterns are popular and what patterns you like. Like recently houndstooth is really popular, so I try to scan for houndstooth. If you're a floral person, scan for floral pieces. I've found a lot of times that starting with the pattern is a really good way to not get caught up in like this isn't a computer. Not to get caught up in looking at every single piece, because that can take hours. So that's also, colors will help too. So if you know what colors look good on you, then scan for those colors instead of looking at every single piece. Like if I see something that is bright green, I know I don't have to look at it because I know that ain't gonna look good on my complexion. So just like be a smart shopper and save your energy and look for the stuff that you can see without like separating the clothes and looking through each individual item. It sounds kind of stupid when you say it out loud, but trust me, it'll save you a lot of energy because you can stay in a thrift store for like 3 hours if you're not careful. So related to that, it's easy when you're at a thrift shop to get excited because something is cheap and something is like technically stylish or technically on trend or any of that, but you will be more happy with the clothes you do buy if you pay really close attention to what's your personal style instead of what's just cute. So that's also why it's helpful to go in knowing what you want and knowing what you like. So like if I saw, say, a leopard print shirt, I might be like, oh, this is really on trend, I've seen bloggers wear it, that kind of thing, and pick it up and buy it. But when I get home, I'm probably never gonna wear it because it's not my personal style. So that's definitely a trap I've fallen into a lot. Make sure to focus on what you actually like and not what you've seen on other people. And I know it's easy to get excited about the price, but if you spend $3 on a shirt that you never wear, you've wasted $3 and someone else could have been wearing that shirt. Okay, this is gonna sound really obvious too, but please, 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 please make sure the item you pick up fits right. Again, I know it's really easy to get excited when you find something and it's cheap. I don't know if this is just something that happens to me. It might be, but I will make concessions on things not fitting perfectly because it's cute and it's cheap. But again, I'm gonna go home and never actually wear that thing. So what was the point of me buying it? You know what I mean? So definitely try everything on and make sure everything fits and is flattering and all of that before you spend your $3 on that instead of $3 on something else that could have fit better. So this is a very practical tip, but it's something that I use almost every time I go thrift shopping now. I tend to get carried away and buy things I don't need, as we've mentioned several times. But one thing I do before I go is I go through my own closet, I take an inventory of everything I have, and then I make a list. And I say, you know, I want this type of shirt and this type of sneaker and this type of bag, that kind of thing, which usually they're not things I need, but that way I'm allowing myself to get something, but I'm specifying everything so I don't buy a super cute pair of ripped jeans that I obviously want, but I don't really need. So that's just a way that I try to keep from going crazy inside a thrift store. And again, it saves you time when you only have to look through a couple sections. Not only do I save money and save time when I use these tips and tricks before I go shopping, but I usually end up with pieces I love more when I do this kind of stuff and don't leave with the entire store as much as you may want to. So thank you guys so much for tuning in today. Again, my name is Lindsay. Follow me at Trust Meets Fashion, and of course, follow Uptown Cheapskate at Uptown Tampa Palms. And I will see you lovely people next week. Have fun thrifting.